I really believe business is something best experienced instead of, just being talked at. So this is definitely going to be like a consultation. So if you have any business problems or you're like, hey, I'm experiencing this, jump right in because this is just how we're all going to learn from each other and collaborate. So let
Then
me
in
get
that case, I will keep
my
everyone in the
screen.
same room.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah,
everyone
that'd be
will
great.
be, okay, so you'll all be a panelist, but you'll be muted for now, and you can unmute yourself when you have comments or questions.
Yeah, and feel free to chat in the box. I will be checking those too if you can't, jump on the mic. Okay, present. And where's my Zoom? And let me share.
Elisa, do you have a preference for the view of the screen? Do you want a gallery view where everyone's faces are on, or is this okay the way it currently is?
So as soon as I share, it's going to go away. So it's totally fine.
Okay.
All right, and share. Okay, can you guys see that? My slides?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay, great. So we're going to be going over impressions. Basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. Are you going to leave a good impression or a bad impression with your customer? And then, so most people think, oh, it's one impression. You have your first impression, but really, no, there's actually 7 that all businesses go through. So as soon as you lay a great foundation with all 7 impressions, this is going to be your map to grow your business, either growing your revenue, scaling out to more customers, or even introducing cool new products and innovations, which gets me really excited. So a little about me. This was a little talk I gave 2 years ago, a year ago, on International Women's Day. And this was when everything in my life finally made sense. Everything that I had experienced and done. I was giving a talk about having moved to the Philippines and starting a business there, and how it made me feel so much more connected to my mom, my lolas, even the lolas I didn't even meet, because I just saw how I was part of a story, how we came from nothing. My lola was an orphan. She only had a 3rd grade education, but somehow she hustled, bought a rice mill, selling rice first. And then she was able to give jobs to her community. And then that enabled my family to leave the Philippines for when martial law became a thing. And then that enabled me to have this great education and, career. So to me, that was just, my family is innovating. The whole course of humanity is just evolving and getting better. Until I realized that my career, which was in artificial intelligence at that time, I was doing techie work with the company that created Siri. And, technology has great benefits like what we're doing right now, right? But what most people don't see are the global implications of technology. So what is Siri doing? It's automating, it's making our lifestyle easier. And unfortunately, that's taking out a lot of jobs that call center, BPO employees do right now. And where are the majority of call centers in BPO, folks? The Philippines. So I put together a report for my product, saw how effective it was, and we measured effectivity by how many redundant resources or people we wouldn't need, the company wouldn't need to hire anymore. So literally, I saw the number of Filipinos that would be put out of business. So that was really heart-wrenching for me that my family worked so hard to get me here, and here I am working for a company that's putting Filipinos out of business. So in order to rectify all that, I went back to the Philippines and tried to create a business that would help solve the unemployment problem. And it did all right. So this is me giving a talk on how all of that came full circle and why now I continue to live this mission of just elevating and uplifting everyone, especially in these very interesting times we're in. And of course, I love me some Filipinas, so I love working with Filipinas, as you will see. So here are some of the companies I had worked for, and these two, Caribbean Club and Calibu, those are companies I co-founded in the Philippines, both social enterprises, both working with farmers and the emerging middle class to help create new lifestyles or more elevated lifestyles. And then a couple of other clients that I have launched products for, a lot in tech, some in foods, many in retail. And then the ones highlighted in gold are my Entrepinay girls that I love and that you all should check out. These are great companies in retail, wellness, yeah, and photography. You heard from Leica from the last one, and yeah, she's done these beautiful photos of me that you will see too. So all of this to say is that um, I've been obsessed with just people. I graduated in neuropsychology. I worked with AI, obviously, and really going through all these diverse industries is because I just want to learn. Like what Jessica was saying, how as a PR, you become a subject matter expert in your clients' industries. I'm a client, I'm a customer, and these are some of the brands that I use frequently and a lot that I love. And so what do I want as a client? What do I want to experience as a customer? Right? I want to be treated so great. I want to be treated like family. So this is why I feel like customer experience has been so pivotal for me, is that it just makes it just makes creating businesses and lasting businesses so much easier when you focus on the relationship. So from PR to how you treat them with your services, it's all about relationships and how people perceive and experience your business. So diverse. So hopefully y'all are fall somewhere in this retail or in this industry scape, whether you're retail, a service provider, fashion, food, or what else am I missing? Yeah. So actually, in the chat box, drop me a line. I really want to know what your hustles are, so I can make sure my examples are directly relevant to what you're doing. Yeah. And please let me know if this is something you are starting and or that you're well into. So basically, I will be going over different case studies. So Philz, which is food retail, going over Nike, which is also fashion retail, and then Lyft, which is more service based. So hopefully we yeah. Okay. Flower farming. Hey, Lord, is money coaching. Okay, great. So we have some retail, direct to customers, money coaching, which could be, yeah, I know you speak too, Jen. Yeah. So it could be more industry and enterprise related versus just direct to consumers retail. All right. Okay, great. Nonprofit education. Okay, great. I would love to talk about that too. Okay, so what is customer experience? So this is going to be participation time. Let's look at, well, what's going on in a business. So anyone free to answer, what would this ad fall under? Well, actually, no, I'll make it easier since Jessica's like, this is marketing. So is this billboard. Now, when you're inside a retail space like this, shopping, under what business function do you think that would fall under? So go ahead and chime in, Anna Marie, since you also have the mic. Anyone? Merchandise marketing? Yep, definitely. All right. And what about these checkout and delivery type photos? Most people would sales operations. And then you have Instagram here and a storefront, that's marketing. You have promotions here and follow up. And then surveying, customer service, right? In terms of checking out. And then we have shoes here. Oh, we got another shoes, which would be product design. So we cover pretty much everything, right? Marketing, sales, customer service, even some finance aspects. Now, where is customer experience? Anyone have a guess? Trish, oh, you nailed it. Yes, all of it is customer. Yes, Jen, all of it. That's what people don't realize. And so Okay, customer experience covers all those bases, and we know it's important, right? There's loyalty for your customers in case competitors come in. There's your brand reputation, right? Just as Jessica so nicely laid out for us, like how do people perceive you? And then it's your referrals. Do people shout you out? How do you get new customers? Well, you have that trust from your loyal customers, so they're the ones that extend and be like, hey, check out Leica. She did my photos. They were awesome. So, but how important, right? Let's put some numbers. So you have, let's say 20 people are your customers. If you just keep one of them, you're going to get double revenue. You get the twins, the full set of Olsen twins, y'all. You don't just get one or a quarter of a twin. You can get a whole nother one. But really, just if you were to keep that one customer, if they were to come back and buy from you, you double your revenue. Wow, so much more efficient, right? Because a lot of times I see people like, I got to go to marketing, do more ads to pull in all new customers. And it's like, no, keep a balance. Some new, some returning. Let's see in the chats. Oh, I'm glad I got some last from that. And then, so how much does it cost? So new clients versus return clients. So so the cost to acquire CAC, which y'all will see in some techie and financial models, is how much does it cost to get new clients? So you're paying for advertising, you're putting new graphics together. A lot goes into the whole marketing and PR kind of thing, right? So new clients, to get those, oh man, they could cost you 6 to 7 times more than your returning client. So where do you guys want to invest your money? So again, it goes back to balance, right? You can't just rely on all return clients. You have to be able to get some new people in too. But looking at your budget or what you're capable of right now, is it going to be, are you going to devote, are your return clients good? Are you going to devote maybe more of your marketing budget to new ones? Or are you going to devote more of marketing and promotions to your return clients? So just to give you guys a visual, that new clients, yeah, 6 to 7 times more. And please stop me if I'm going too fast. So here are the 7 impressions. And this is what I've found in all industries. I mean, yeah, some details change, but in general, this is what you can expect in all of your business. So location, think of this as, what's the first place people find me? So what it used to be back in the day, TV commercials, radio commercials, billboards. But now with social media, it's a lot more targeted, right? Hashtags and keywords have really made target marketing so much more fun for marketers, right? Like, yes, I know exactly who I want and where they are. Storefront, this is, if you think about it physically, it is your storefront. Like, as soon as I land on your website, can I tell within 3 seconds what you do? And I think maybe it might be less than 3 seconds, because social media is really reducing our attention span. Now, shopping experience. How easy is it for me to see what you're selling? So I see a lot of this with service providers, right? Coaches, consultants like myself. Do I have a package? How do people work with me? Is it very clear what my hourly rate is, or if there's a program that people need to join? And then checkout. So whether you have a physical POS or you do online with PayPal and whatnot, how easy is it for people to complete a payment? If you have a retail store, do you have long lines? Is it a pain in the butt just to get to the cashier? And then delivery. So this is a big issue with e-commerce now, is how quickly can customers get what they bought? And unfortunately, or fortunately, Amazon has really set the expectations really high. So one thing we'll get to is leveraging. So I know a lot of retailers, like Spread the Love, are leveraging Amazon for their distribution and delivery. So that's a good tactic as you're starting up. But I mean, for people trying to do it on their own without Amazon, just direct on their e-commerce website, 2 days, next day shipping, it's tough. But as long as you set expectations with your customers, that works out. Now, the last two is where I see a lot of fallout. Feedback. Are you getting feedback, like surveys or just talking to your customers? consistently? And is it actionable? You don't just want to get feedback. People like, yeah, it was good. Great. What do I do with that? Right? You want to say, you know what? My croissant came out a little burnt. Wow. So much more helpful. Right? And then follow up. So what this is are you continuing the conversation? Are you making that person still feel like they're a part of your business, that their purchase was important to you and you value them as a customer? So social media again has really helped with that. But if there's any questions, go ahead, pop it in. But we're going to get right into a use case. So Nike, because it's really easy to start with and it's a retail store. So you can actually have this. I think everyone in this chat has been to a Nike store. If you haven't, wow, I must be missing something, but no. So location, where are you positioned? So physically, are you in a nice Rodeo Drive kind of place? Or are you in some, back alley with a little sign out your door saying, hey, come find me? And then storefront, again, is it obvious when people see your storefront, what you sell, what you do? Shopping experience, how easy is it for people to find what they're looking for? I don't know how many times I've looked for a shirt that was on a mannequin and I was like, where is it? Where is it in the store? I want to buy this. But yeah, and of course there's no sales assistant, right? Then checkout. Are the checkout lines like Black Friday all the time? Or is it nice and clear, like you have a personal concierge coming to you to check you out? Then delivery. So delivery is not just how quickly do I get my product, it also has to do with the packaging, um, the communication, and letting you know when is it coming. And if the packaging is all banged up or whatnot. So feedback, again, this comes in different ways, whether it's in person, it's via survey or email, but the point is that it's constructive for you. And follow up, it's a mix of promotions, engagement. A lot of people see that email marketing after, this is where your lists become important, where you're able to just keep talking or sending your clients updates on what you're doing in case you have new products or services. Any questions so far? All right. So here are some examples of, or more detailed examples of location. So again, there are ads. There is where you are physically, are people going to walk around in a nice, safe, and high traffic area where they will see your store? And in the web and in the digital landscape too, how are you being placed on YouTube and on Instagram? Are people going to find your hashtag easily? And then things like this, partnerships. So you might think of it as influencers, but how is it that you're leveraging marketing other ways, right? So Serena wearing Nike, that's obviously advertising there too. But who can you like I'm repping the entrepreneurs I worked with. That in a sense is a partnership. Now now I've given them more visibility. So it's a community thing. How are we sharing and telling each other about businesses we like and trust? And then, yeah, so back to the hashtag. So when I go through these examples, I'm not trying to overwhelm y'all with, y'all need to do all these different things to get your location on point. No, no, no. What I'm trying to say is these are examples. You really have to start with what feels most authentic to you and what's most sustainable for you. So of course, you got to start small. Even big ass redwoods were little sprouts when they first started. So start with what is manageable with your time and energy, because your business isn't just about getting people to know about you. You actually have a product and a service that you are working on, hopefully majority of the time. So that's location. Now, storefront. This is your website. This is your Instagram page. So a lot of people ask me, why isn't this my location? Why isn't this the first thing that people see? And the sad thing is, there's just so much information and content out there. Most people aren't going to look up your name. I mean, do you guys know my website name? No, because how do you know something you don't know? It's usually you saw it through a referral, somebody else's post. You were clicking through a bunch of hashtags and you finally came upon it. But this is normally your second step. So if you think about it in social media terms, most likely you were looking at a hashtag and you're like, oh, Nike. oh, Nike has an Instagram page. Let me check it out. Now here I am. Or you saw an ad for Nike, Google dropped an ad in your email box and you're like, oh, let me click. Now you're brought to the website. But very rarely do first time clients, I'm talking first time clients, go directly to your page. Return clients, yes, because they know you already. But if we're talking about just first timers, no, you need to find a way to gain visibility through other channels. That's why marketing is high in demand. Shopping experience. Okay, so from a physical and a digital perspective, is it easy to navigate? So if you look at the menus here, and I'm sure everybody's had this issue before, it's like the thing I'm looking for isn't in the category I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for backpacks and it's not in women's, it's not in lifestyle. Where are the backpacks at? So little things like that. Oh, I have a question. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. So this is, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is really important. And this is where a lot of the feedback and keeping close with your customers and having a conversation with them throughout these different impressions is important, because the way you think about how you search for things may not be exactly how your clients or your customers think about it too. And so, what some companies have done is that, you know what, instead of having my customers look for things, I'm going to suggest it. So, that's where these featured things come from. Now, this becomes an issue only when you have a huge product portfolio. So, Nike, of course, they've been around and doing it for a long, 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 long time. So they have millions and trillions of products. But, for businesses starting out or for service providers, you want to keep it simple. You want to tell and guide your clients, look, you need to start here. This is step one. So I feel like shopping experience can be much, much more simpler than what we make it out to be. Checkout. All right. So this is again that line. Are you using a nice checkout system? PayPal, Square, who knows? And part of that is what payment methods. And one thing that you'll notice here at every checkout and after every Disneyland ride are the upsells. Are you showing your clients, hey, you know what? You might need this too. So that's part of the whole checkout experience. It's pretty straightforward, easiest one. Delivery. So again, it's not just your product, how nicely it's presented, the packaging. It's also, are you communicating to them? When are you going to get it? And what can you do? Is there a nice little 30-day, buyback guarantee or refund kind of thing? This is where you get to communicate all that. I mean, really, it's all about communication, right? Imagine Nike is my personal assistant. I want to know, when are you coming? Are you coming to me with information, or am I having to go to you? It's so much nicer when people can read our minds and anticipate what we need, right? So feedback again. So surveys are what we see, and it's the key thing about surveys are you getting it right away? It's not like 30 days later, hey, can you fill out this survey on this Sephora experience you had from 1999? I'm like, did I go to Sephora in 1999? But yeah, so you want to get it right away so you can attach it to that very specific event with your client. Like, oh, yeah, that was on Thursday when there was like some crazy car accident outside the store and that made everyone scramble. And so we weren't able to service our customers right away. It's just really good to get your feedback within its proper context. You're like, especially if you're like a photographer or a service provider, it's your mood. Some days you're feeling great, some days you're not. There are things that happen at home, who knows, but maybe you just weren't on your A game. And so when you get feedback that is relevant to that day, you're going to be more forgiving of yourself than like, oh my God, I just sucked because I'm looking at this feedback from a general perspective. They didn't like me. It's like, no, I wasn't. I wasn't at my best that day. And follow up. So again, This is continuing the conversation. Are you offering promotions? Are you offering ways for your community to stay involved with you? This, sometimes it can be a little too salesy, but again, back to knowing who your customer is. What do they care about? Are there things that your company is doing that your clients would be interested in knowing about? Like what are you doing in this time of COVID? Like, how have you been keeping up with the Australia fires? Or what is it that you care about with the oceans or the pollution? Just something that your customers would care about and that your company is actively trying to, contribute to and impact. Okay, any questions so far with retail? I hope that was straightforward. How am I doing on time? Okay, we're whizzing through this. Okay, so Philz, actually, I think I will go to, so Philz, we can go through this, but I think it would be more beneficial for service providers, since we have quite a few, to go over Lyft. Okay, so here's another way. I'm just trying to give as many examples so you guys can like get it in your brain what exactly all these things are. And you know what? It's probably going to ruin you when you go out shopping now, or when you're looking at different businesses. You're going to think about this, which is okay. You're like, oh, their shopping experience is quite difficult. So location with Lyft. Before, it was with the pink mustaches, right? People are like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's Lyft. It's this new car rideshare service. And then, of course, they had ads. And of course, referrals, right? So when you have a code, you send it to a friend, boom, now they're in the Lyft ecosystem. Storefront, easy enough. So it's digital. A lot of service providers, I expect you all to have some type of digital presence too, whether that's your website, Instagram, Facebook. And so what is it that you do? It's very, cut and clear what Lyft is trying to do. Where are you going? Shopping experience. So pick your ride. Before, Lyft only had 2 options. I don't know if you all remember that, but only 2 options. Now they have like 4. They have Lyft, that premium brand, the share, and I think in certain places like scooters or bikes. So the thing I want y'all to understand from the shopping experience, or everything in general, is start small. Don't feel like you need to give them the entire buffet yet. That could be overwhelming to your clients, especially if it's, you're just starting out your business. Really stick to your power, like your core products. Then checkout. Of course, they made it easy, integrated with online payments, and then delivery. You know exactly where your driver is. You can see them like, oh, they're going the wrong way, right? Like, I'm not there. And you know how much time it's going to take till they get to you. Then feedback. Again, this is why online or tech products are making feedback so much easier, is that you get the feedback right after your ride and it's directly attached to the ride itself. And then follow up. So this is also where tech products could fall back, is, are you getting notifications for their promotions? Ugh, I turn off all my notifications, so I miss out on them from time to time. But how else, I really feel like this is an area where Lyft can improve too, in terms of like how they keep the community engaged. There's a huge opportunity for them when Uber was going through all that shit show in their legal, where Lyft could have been like, hey, look at our customers, or look at our drivers. They're being treated really well. Okay, so Che had a great question. Love to know how to translate these tangible touch points, how to stand out in each of these connection points, how to create a great customer, mainly online right now. All right, Che, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but would you like to get on the mic so we can walk through this with you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, perfect.
Hi. And it's Shay, but don't worry, everyone calls me Shay.
Sorry, could you say, how do I really want to say it correctly?
Oh, Shay, like
Shay.
the butter.
Okay, Shay. Okay. Ooh. All right. So your question was how to stand out in each of these connection points. Okay, so Shay, I think you wrote me up earlier, but you are a
Yeah, I can
copywriting
explain.
consultancy, okay, for purpose-driven brands.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
service-based.
Okay, great. So let's start. So here's, okay, great. I'm glad we're getting to the case studies now. So Shay, what service would you like to promote?
I mainly do copywriting for websites.
Okay. Do you have a package for that? A very specific package for that?
Yeah, I have 2 different ones.
Okay, great. So for everyone here, what I'm doing right now is I'm having Shay focus on one product or one service offering. That's the key to
Good.
using this touch point. You don't want to throw all of your things here because what you have for, let's say, the type of marketing you do for your sneakers, probably different for the type of marketing you do for your jackets, right? You might have both in your retail, but the way you market each one is going to be different. So it's really good to just focus on one product, one service at a time. So, okay, copywriting for websites. Fabulous. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that you have all of this laid down. You have a good foundation. So, location, where are people first meeting you? Other than entrepreneurship, now I know about you, but how else were you doing it before?
Before it was in-person events, but now it's mainly Instagram, referrals from friends.
Okay, fabulous. Those are all good. And so when people talk to you on Instagram, or if they find you on Instagram, what's the next step? How do they know that you provide copywriting for websites? Where would you expect them to go next?
Yeah, normally they are drawn into my captions and my feed. And so they say, I would love to work with you. And so I send them to my services page on my website, which gives the information.
Okay. And so regarding copywriting for websites specifically, is your content geared towards that?
Not completely.
Yeah, exactly. So then this is a good time to reevaluate what's my marketing strategy, or
Yeah.
how am I making copywriting much more obvious to people?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I know you might have multiple services, right? But what's the one that really gets people in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you just focus on that, it makes everything so much easier, right? It's like, okay, let me put together a 30-day marketing plan on just promoting my website copywriting services. And then when people see that, oh, she does copywriting for websites, which, you know what, I might hit you up for, then I'm gonna go to your website, see different, things you've worked on, your portfolio. That's what I would expect. And then the shopping experience, if I'm on your website and I'm seeing your different case studies or different work you've done, I'm gonna be like, okay, what next? How do I work with her? Do I call you? Is there a button that I sign up for your program? How would I be able to purchase your services?
Yeah, then they would book a call with me, which is automated, which is great. And
Great.
then I figure out their pain points there, and then I customize a package for them, and then they sign up for it right there.
Okay, how do they sign up? Is it over email? Do you send like a PayPal link or an invoice? How is that?
I send them their packages via like a PDF, and then they tell me which one they want, and then I send the contract and the invoice through HoneyBook.
Oh, okay, HoneyBook. Okay, so you see what we just did right there from your shopping experience. You had a call, and then in between that, there was some back and forth, right, via email with the
Yeah.
PDFs until you got to the checkout where it's like, okay, here's your stuff on HoneyBook.
Yeah, the back and forth is what kills it for a lot of
Oh,
us. I
yeah,
know.
girl. I could feel that. And I know it as a consultant. Yep. 3 and 4 is difficult. Okay. Now so they signed up for a package or they booked through HoneyBook and now it's delivery. So I'm imagining that there are some calls or some scheduling of appointments for you to be able to deliver that website copywriting.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so is that done over certain number of sessions?
Yeah, that's the hard part is figuring out, because each client has a different type of website they want to create. Then
Yeah.
it's like, how many calls up front? When are you free? Do you prefer video chat or phone? So it's not a frictionless experience per client as of yet.
I love that word, by the way. I use that all the time. Friction. Where are you feeling friction? Everything should be smooth flowing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, feedback. Are you getting feedback from your engagements, testimonials, or some type of rating?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting testimonials, but this is very eye-opening to get feedback that can make me better. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one on this call who's gets like, I don't want to get bad feedback, I'm sensitive, but it
Right.
will help me be
Action.
better.
Yeah, that's why shift that, girl. It's not about like, oh, did I suck? It's like, oh, how can I get better? Yeah. And follow up. So Honeybook, I know for a fact, has the list of your clients. And so are you able to follow up with them? Check in like, oh, how's your website doing? Do you need any more copywriting? Oh, I noticed you have this up now. I have an idea for you in terms of copywriting. Are you able to continue that conversation with your clients?
I definitely am. And I don't think of ways of like how I could extend that relationship. So that's a good eye opener as well. Cause for
Great.
me, it's like, well, here's your one and done package, but I know that they have needs after that.
Yes. Yes. Return clients, right? I mean,
Yes.
businesses are always changing. Like just because you worked on their website once, I change my website like every 6 months, you know? So it's like businesses are always evolving. So of course there's opportunity for you to keep servicing them. So now that you've given me a great overview of your business, I have some ideas on what it is you can work on. So regarding, how to stand out, it's you getting clear. So what I heard was with this, so would you say that website copywriting is your most popular or your bread and butter kind of service?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I heard then, so website copywriting, there's opportunity to get even more specific and drill down your target audience, right? Is it a specific type of website? Are you looking at e-commerce, retail kind of customers? Or are you looking at other service providers? Are you just looking at content producers? Right? Like, oh, it's about me and my personality. Yeah. So it's like, look at your clients and see which ones you loved working with, didn't love working with, not so great. And then really identify, I want to target these clients, these, consultants, these freelancers, and copyright their website.
Mhm.
Yeah, because then that will make everything else a lot easier. So your marketing will be much more tighter. What they see in terms of your services and packages will be tighter. Then you won't have to put too much effort into your packaging, like what types of services, because it's like, service providers like myself, consultants, oh, they always need these three basic things. So
Mhm.
that's gonna make your um, that back and forth email on what packages are available much easier. Right now it feels like you're doing a lot more customization, right? But
Yeah.
as soon as you land on that one specific client, you'll start to notice patterns like, oh, it's always these three things, always these three things.
Mhm.
Then delivery, you'll have a more uh what's the word I'm looking for, standard, yeah, just a more standard thing, like 5 sessions on Zoom, let's go.
Yeah.
And then feedback, because you're focused on one service, one target audience, your feedback's going to be so much more insightful. It's like, how was I on timing? How was I on um I'm sorry, I don't really know too much about copywriting,
No,
but
no,
in
it's okay.
terms of
You're
like
doing great.
delivery, yeah. In terms of delivery, did I get it well on time? Did I hit expectations? Yeah, things like that. And then just getting really like, oh yeah, this is the voice and tone. I don't know exactly, but yeah.
Yeah. Very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. And Lourdes had a question about your seasonal product. Okay, Lourdes, you want to jump on?
Oh, okay, there you go. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Yeah. So I feel like this is like prime time for like my product actually. Well,
Mm-hmm.
any gardening or farmer actually. Especially for our zone, we're just like starting up, and I have like on my Mailchimp, I have a campaign already set up for my tulips. Oh, for my tulip sales. But anyway, I've never, yeah, like I said, like I've never seen customer experience laid down like this before.
Why, thank you.
Um,
This is
yeah, but
so it's nothing new, but this is how I see it. This is the
mhm.
grapefruit view of business. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess yeah, like for example, well, flower growers to do what do you call this CSA, like customer supported agriculture, so
Mhm.
to sell it before we even harvest it. Uh,
Right.
I don't have a storefront, so maybe a little guidance on how I can, yeah, like go around all these points with my seasonal product.
Yeah. So with seasonal, and I guess, yeah, with all agriculture type and food, it's about predicting, right? It's like we're planning to grow tulips this time of the year. So it's about first understanding what you're going to provide.
Okay.
Do you have that mapped out? So what are you planning to sell or harvest in fall?
Oh, so right now, well, the tulips has been on the ground since October, but
Mhm.
for our zone, they will stop popping for me on the ground. Well, late April, but I can only sell after Mother's Day.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So really, your location I heard was on Instagram and Facebook, right?
Yes, and I have a website just recently went live.
Okay, so your
Yeah.
website. So people are going to hear about you from your Instagram or your Facebook, and they're going to go to your website most likely to see, okay, well, what is she selling? What's being offered right now? So if that's the case, I would expect boom, tulips, order now. Or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then again, what's your pricing? Are you going to package it in terms of per tulip, or is it going to be
Per
by the dozen? Yeah, exactly.
dozen.
So this follows, okay, tulips is my focus for April. Is my content for all of my marketing channels, Facebook, Instagram, is it geared towards tulips, 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 tulips?
Okay.
So that when people go to my website, which would be your storefront, does it show tulips? What what are the prices? How by quantity? How much is the shipping going to be? All of that. And sorry, that bleeds into shopping experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then checkout. Are you going to have a nice, PayPal or, some type of e-commerce type setup in your website?
Yeah, I
Or you,
actually
what was that?
yeah, I just recently signed up in Mailchimp. I was able to get it through Mailchimp. The Square thing, I forgot what
Oh,
it.
okay, yeah. So it's going to be about seamlessly embedding that Square checkout on your website. You don't want people to leave your website once they've already been there. You want them to get there. And then delivery, how are you going to communicate when they
Yeah.
can expect it?
So the delivery. So I have in my campaign on Mailchimp. So I mentioned it like when it will only be available. So it was like mid May until like June 6th, so they
Hmm.
can pick. Um, so I'm doing like a subscription. My minimum will be like 3 weeks, a dozen for each, and at this only timeline. I'm in conversation with a couple of shops because we want to do the promotion actually. But right now we can't just like meet, online. I think I'm gonna wait like a couple of weeks before, like and talk about it. So because I'm outside the city, so if the customer who subscribed will be from the city, I said in the campaign it's still to be determined like pick up in Winnipeg in the city,
Hmm.
and then for the subscribers around me will be delivery is an option at a minimal fee.
Oh, okay, great. I mean, as long as you state that up clear. And one thing I want everyone to understand too is that Lourdes' business model is about selling to other companies. So it's like a B2B, business to business model. She's not doing retail, what a lot of you know consultant service providers do, where you're selling direct to the consumer, and people who are going to be using your product or service. Lourdes in this case is selling to shops who nicely can do bulk orders, which is great, and then who will sell that to their individual
Oh,
customers.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, actually,
Oh, you're also doing.
yeah, I'm targeting direct customers as well. Um,
Ah,
since
okay.
I'm out of town, yeah, I'm doing a couple of like collaboration with a couple of storefronts. That could be people who subscribe who are in the city. Okay, I'm gonna be here. This is where you can pick up your subscription of tulips, and then I will also have available tulips that people who are coming into the store can buy it, even though they did not subscribe.
Direct to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So my suggestion then would be to draw this out. You're going to go steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for your business to business customers, those shops. And then you're going to draw a separate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for your retail customers. Because
Okay.
it's a very different experience for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really need to separate them.
Okay.
So that's the beauty of this framework. It really helps to focus on one thing at a time.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'm loving this participation. So one thing I wanted to go over to before we end and get some more use cases is, thanks, Shay, is common issues. So it's a circle, y'all, right? Oops, it's a circle. I'm a water baby. I was born in June. I'm a Cancer. I like things to flow. This is a flow. So one thing I want you to take away from this entire presentation is that this is a cycle, meaning once you get your customers in, they should not leak out. They stay in your ecosystem. They stay a loyal customer. They stay with you. So those issues when it comes to flow. Now, if you think about pipes, because again, water baby, right? You want things to keep flowing. What happens? You get droughts, right? It's like, oh, nobody's finding me. Where is everybody? I ain't got no people coming in. Then you have leakages. So yeah, people might see your Instagram, they might see your Facebook, but they don't continue to your website or they don't continue to where your services are offered. That's a leak. They're coming in, they're going away. Then there's a block. So if any of the issues you guys come across, I hope everyone comes across a block at one point, because this is great news for your business, right? You're in demand and 50 million people are coming at you and you only have so much, you only have 40 hours in the day, right? Or not 40, 24 hours in the day, 40 hours in your week. But yeah, so much demand and you're having trouble keeping up with it. It's going to create a block. There's that tension. And then the last one that I'm sure everybody feels are inefficiencies. When you have too many pipes laid out and the water, it's going to get there, but it's going to take some time. And, you know, got to wrench this here and the water's finding its way, but there are inefficiencies. So one way I see that are through these examples. So drought, again, physically or digitally, are you positioned in a place that's great for your business? Or are you in this empty strip mall, which I find very common in Las Vegas? Just random strip malls. And it's so weird there. My favorite poke place is next to a crematorium, which I'm like, what? So where are you positioned is what I'm saying. Leaks, in and out. Such a great innovation here. So in and out, y'all know, well, people over in the western part of the US, the in and out drive-through lines are so long. And when people roll up thinking they're going to get in and out, they're like, 10 cars deep, never mind, let's go somewhere else. So instead of in and out, having people get to the teleprompter to give your order, they're like, nah, we're going to send people out. So it's like, hey, 10th person, wait, I'm coming for you. Don't leave. I'm gonna get your order. That's how in and out solved their leakage problem, because in and out's pretty fast, right? Those 10 cars can go by pretty quick. So it was a matter of sending people out to get people before they dropped out of the drive-through line. So blocks, I don't know if y'all tried Popeye's fried chicken. It's pretty dope. The spicy one is my jam. But man, they had a huge block, right? So many people were waiting 2 hours for a chicken sandwich. And they probably didn't have the operational, foundation to get that many sandwiches out. They probably didn't have enough chicken sandwiches, or they probably didn't have enough staff. So when you come across the block, those are your three things. Like, are my operations set up to do it? Do I have enough materials? And do I have enough people that can get those chicken sandwiches popping out? And then inefficiencies, they manifest themselves commonly as in paperwork, a lot of back and forth, but of course, a lot of paperwork. Or what I'm finding now is that people are like, oh, forget paperwork, I'm gonna get all these different softwares. And now you have 5 different softwares that you're trying to manage and juggle with each other and communicate with each other, but they're not. So again, use the cycle to help figure out what is a priority for you. So, okay, anyone want to guess which is the most important number 1 priority issue you should address? Ooh, Leica says location. Yeah, potentially. Any others? Anyone want to agree or propose something else? So I'm guessing you mean drought, right, Leica? Like not getting customers in general? Inefficiencies, leaks. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Leica. Okay. Sorry, my dears. It is blocks. Blocks are what is the number 1. So this is assuming you already have customers. Blocks are people that already paid. They already paid and they're waiting for their product. They're waiting for their service. That is probably the most frustrating. It's like toilet paper now, right? Where's the toilet paper? I put it, it's on back order for like 3 months. I want my toilet paper. I already paid. So blocks, that's your number one. This is assuming you already have clients. Location, Leica, yes, the drought is important if you're not getting customers into your business as a whole yet. But second, I would say are leaks. Leaks are important because those people are your revenue potential. They got pretty far, especially at checkout, shopping experience and checkout. Leaks in those locations, huge because they're so close, but they dropped out. What is going on? Now, inefficiencies. Inefficiencies and so inefficiencies, I would say, do you have customers that you're serving right now, or are you still, actually, yes, you have to. So one of the things with this framework is it's going to tell you, are you ready? Are you ready to scale or innovate? Meaning add new products. So scaling to me is turning the faucet on. So say you're able to get through impressions 1 through 7. Okay, you have maybe as a consultant 5 customers, 5 clients a month for me. That's good. Can I handle 6 or 7? Ooh, I don't know. So that to me is a indication that I need to reevaluate where I can be more efficient with my customer experience cycle, right? So scaling, will your business pass the test of increasing the volume? Can you service these people? Or will you identify where you're being inefficient, where people are getting blocked, or are they going to leak out? Location, location, yes. If you're not getting customers in general, yes, location is your number one. But assuming you do get customers, that's the order of priority I would attack these in. Is number 1, your blocks. Number 2, your leaks. And number 3, your inefficiencies. Actually, leaks and inefficiencies, talk to me. It's just a matter of your specific business case. But yeah, these are potential revenue loss, but this is already, you owe people. So that's really bad if you're not delivering on them. So we did that. Okay. So, okay, we're at the Q&A. Anything else, you guys? If you want me to go back to a slide, let me know. 1254. Oh, okay. So I mentioned innovation. I didn't even talk about that. So if we looked at, I'm going back up to, yes. So Philz is I love Philz. They're so good. Philz is a great example of innovation. So they are a cafe, a coffee shop, and they started as a physical location, right? They got their operations down, did it over years. Philz was in business for like more than 10 years. And then they started to replicate. They started opening up businesses outside of San Francisco. There's so many in Southern California now, right? So that was Philz seeing that, hey, our foundation is solid. We got steps 1 through 7. We know our different drinks. Our people know exactly how to deliver them. We are giving outstanding customer experience here, and we have great relationships. Now it's time to expand. Let's go to more locations. Now they've done the expansion. Then they started introducing innovation. So that was new coffee drinks. They have this rose coffee that's amazing. And then they started adding new ways of adding value to customers by making it easier to order. So they have a mobile app. So one of the things is that this framework, I hope, helps you see how you can start a nice solid foundation before you think to go out to even more customers, right? Your circle gets bigger. Make sure it flows first, and then your circle can get bigger. And then you can start looking at very specific aspects of your circle to innovate. So look at that. You can pick an order time for your coffee. How amazing is that? So they introduced an app which took their customer experience to the next level, and then little things like ordering and knowing when it's coming up like that, and seeing your barista who's making it. Beautiful. Yeah, it's real good. So yes, so that's pretty much everything. This slide was just to go over you guys' questions and use your businesses as an example. But basically, yeah, get your foundation down. Pick one product, your bread and butter product. Go through steps 1 through 7, lay it out. And then look at time and volume. How many customers are flowing through? And how long does it take for one customer to get from one impression to the next? You really want to keep it tight, right? Like Amazon, you find them, you pick what you want, put in your cart, and you check out right then and there. And then delivery can come the same day too. It's amazing. Amazon's entire circle could happen in a day, potentially. So let's see, question. Yes, pick one. Focus on one to start. Get good at that one thing, then turn the faucet on. That's when you start to add in advertising or do more PR, so that once you have a good foundation and you get more people flowing into your business, you can handle that. You scale well. Oh, and thank you for, oops, I'll send these out too. And so one last thing too is, now that you guys have a sense of this business cycle, you see where marketing, sales, customer service, customer success, or just all the different parts of your business are. As business owners, I believe that each of us has a very specific strength in one aspect of our business. So as you are looking to expand or just take your business to the next level, keep in mind where your strengths are. For example, mine is in delivery. I'm a consultant. I help with your business. When it comes to marketing, no, I'm not a marketing consultant. I'm a strategy consultant. I'm a customer experience consultant. So what am I going to do? I'm going to look for the Entrepinay that knows her marketing shit. I'm going to go to freaking Jessica for her PR. But this is another way for you to understand what you need to leverage and when. Right? A lot of times we go into these workshops and we're just trying to learn, drinking from the hose, but we don't know when to apply it or what is it that we need. So I was at the YouTube workshop the other day, and I was like, yeah, content generation, I need to do that. But I need to ask myself, are my customers on YouTube? Will they be looking for that? And do I have everything else laid out before I start putting out more YouTube content? Because YouTube content, that's marketing for me. That's going to take away from the time I need towards my clients. So one thing I want you guys to look at is identify your strengths in this entire cycle. Most of us are probably going to be in delivery here, unless you're a marketing consultant. Go out to someone who does great in marketing. Go to someone who does great in sales. Go to someone who does great in understanding software and implementation. And then